Reading through the Agile values and principles in the Agile Manifesto, you realize that Agile is all about the customer. It's focused on our customer. It's focused on delivering value to our customer. Everything we do should be about the customer. Even in the world of waterfall, we should maintain our focus on our customers at all times. Customer satisfaction is our primary goal. Principle number 1, we favor quality. Speed is important, but not to sacrifice quality. Quality is way up there on the hierarchy, because if we produce bad stuff, you're not going to meet your primary goal of customer satisfaction. Something else that's difficult for a lot of organizations to get is a concept of outcome over output. It's not about how much stuff you churn out. It's about the outcome of the project and that customer collaboration. The reality is a lot of organizations measure output, and they use output as a measure of success. But think about it this way. If your outcome is to have happy customers, measuring output does not guarantee that outcome. Here's a concept. If I can deliver one simple thing that delights and satisfies my customers, one single thing, isn't that better than delivering 10 things that do absolutely zero for the customer, do nothing for the satisfaction of my customer? So if you're measuring output, I would deliver a whole bunch of stuff of low quality or low value that does nothing to define success. But if I switch the focus to outcome, which is more difficult to measure, of course, away from the output, measuring output is still important, but measuring the outcome, seeing the outcome, understanding the value and the pleasure that the customer derives from that outcome needs to be higher up on the hierarchy. So we're not going away from output, but our focus needs to be different. And we use output measurements for other things. We use output to measure progress towards meeting our goals of outcome. Again, focus on continuous improvement. Always look for ways to get better, because if you want to satisfy your customers, you're going to have to adapt. We're going to have to adjust the way we do things, how we relate to each other, how we relate to our customer. Now, something else that's very important in the world of Agile is the word experimentation. In fact, Agile thrives in experimentation. So we need to encourage the concept of trying to do something new. Maybe there's a failure, then try something else. And it gives opportunities to inspect, adapt, and adjust. We call that the concept of pivoting or persevering. Pivot or persevere. Persevere means we've experimented, we've recognized that this is the right thing to do. Awesome, let's continue down that path and persevere down that path. If we get to the end of our experiment and discover that perhaps it wasn't the right thing, then that's okay to discover it. I'd rather discover that we did the wrong thing right now than to discover 6 months down the road. So it's good to discover what is bad now than later. In those cases where we realize that something isn't going right, then we pivot. We make a decision based on the new information we have, and we go in a different direction. And that's okay. It's very different from the world of waterfall, but that's how we work in an Agile setting. And that's the value of the experimentation concept. And that means that the organization needs to accept experimentation and encourage it. It's okay to have those failures. They're not even failures. My mentor, John C. Maxwell, he says, fail forward. That's failing forward. That's discovery. That's gain, not pain. So it's not really failure, even though we might say fail forward. It's simply that you've tried what you think is right, and you've discovered that perhaps it wasn't. And now you have the opportunity to make a more informed decision. Build the right thing, move forward. That's the overall concept.